And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at a game called Jungle Ascent. Think of this as a scene from a movie in which in that movie you are attempting to climb up a cliff to get treasure. That's the scene. And in that scene, logs are falling down, or the bridge breaks, or something comes flying out of the side. You've seen that, I'm sure. That's what this game is about, trying to be the first one to get to the top. Let's take a look at it. Okay, here's the board. The board is made up of various squares. You can see them a grid. At the bottom of the board, you're going to put your characters. Each player is going to pick an explorer character, and they're going to put it in these starting spots. So you have here female Indiana Jones. We have Renegade from Captain Sparrow's crew. We have this gentleman here who looks like someone not to be trifled with. And then this alien pretending to be an explorer. Don't ask me why. Okay, so we have these four people, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to make them go from the bottom up to the top. If you look there, there is some fabulous treasure there at the top. So, how do you do that? Players are going to have a handful of 7 cards that they'll draw from this deck. They're long, thin cards, and on your turn, you have 2 actions that you can take. One of your actions can be playing a card. Now, most cards you're going to be playing have an arrow on them to show how they're supposed to be facing. So, like, for example, this ladder faces face up like this. If I'm going to build a bridge, it will show that this bridge goes this way, and you put these in the squares. So you're trying to build a pathway to the top that I can climb. And so it's mostly ladders and bridges, although there's other things like this protected space, or maybe a rickety bridge here, or quicksand. There's all different various things. And once again, I'd like to point out, the artwork for this game is really phenomenal. And so that's one of the actions, is you can place a card on the board. You can also move someone for an action, so I can move onto these spaces and I can move around orthogonally because I'm trying to get to the top. Now, one of the things that you can play on your turn besides these good places are you can play hazards. Some hazards, like this totem here, just get placed on the board, and that hazard is a blocking. Nobody can move into that spot. The totem doesn't move. Other hazards, like this fungal growth here, no pawns can move while the fungal growth is in play. Or this bomb will blow up, destroying the stuff underneath it. But the really cool hazards are moving hazards. What will happen is, I can, for example, put a moving hazard here. And this is a crusher, and I'm supposed to place it like this. When I place this crusher, actually, no, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to place it like this. And then I put one of my tokens on it of my color to show that it's my hazard. At the beginning of each of my turns, this one is going to move 1 space down. And if there happens to be a person there, they will fall down to the next empty space. If there is no empty space, they will fall all the way down to the bottom of the cliff and have to start climbing up again. Other things are like this smasher. This smasher is the same thing as the crusher, except this one here moves to the left each turn. Or a fireball that comes from the bottom. Like that. So there's different things that will happen. Now, these are not the only cards that people can play. There are other cards that people can spend actions to play. These cards will have a variety of effects. Like here you can move a pathway card to another legal location. Here you can choose a conveyor belt. Conveyor belts are put on the board just like regular passageways, except when you move on them, you immediately move to the next spots, which again could make you fall off, so you got to be careful about that. Here you can play and you move any player's pawn 1 square in any direction. So you might move them right into the path, or you might move them out of a path. Here we have a sneaky move, use an extra action this turn, draw 3 cards from the pile. There's lots of different effects. Get rid of a hazard off the board. Here's another hazard, a totem. Possession, move somebody else. So there's lots of different things that you can play with really cool effects that you can use as one of your actions on your turn. Finally, you can take an action to draw 2 cards off the top of the deck, although you have a hand limit of 7 cards between your turns. The first person to get their guy all the way to the top is the winner of the game. Now, you can play a cooperative game, which is set up differently and has some extra cards in it. In fact, that card I showed you earlier, that Watch Out, is a card used in cooperative mode to get somebody out of the way. Or a backpack card, which lets people give you cards from their hand. And you're working together, hazards will be coming down off the board, and you're working together to get to the top. Although I will say right now, it's more fun to be competitive about it and knock other people down. Jungle Ascent is what I like to call a take-that game. A game where you play cards on other people that are bad, and you play cards on yourself that are good. That's the way this is. This is most definitely not a strategy game, but more of a family-style game. It's more tactical. You just do whatever happens. You know, you're going to move up a path. You'd sure like to put like some rope ladders and just run straight up there, but someone's going to make an obstacle fall down, and you have to get out of the way. And it is cool. It's not really that hard to dodge obstacles. People don't get hit as much as you'd think, although the closer you get to the top, an obstacle can be placed that's going to move down, and you need to get out of the way. And sometimes there's nowhere to get out of the way. And I enjoy that. Like I said in the overview, I think that the cooperative game's okay, but doesn't give me that real sense of that many cooperative games give me. I think this one's played best competitively. If there was any disadvantage, it's the fact that it's only 4 players, because more than 4, it would have been neat maybe to have this go up to 6. The artwork is amazing. Like I said, the game is really easy to play, very intuitive, the whole idea of climbing up and falling. And so if you're looking for light family fun, I think this is a good choice. It has a strong theme, good quality components, and like I said, fun for the whole family. This is a game that I could see myself pulling out, and people coming over and being attracted to it and wanting to play some more. Gamers themselves might look at it and go, and that's probably true, because it is a little bit light, but sometimes a little light is what you need.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door. There?